All right, gang, welcome back to our Luxury Tax Challenge, and welcome to April, and today is the day. We have enough money to purchase our windmill. We're going to go ahead and do it right off the bat here. We're going to go ahead and buy this $1,799,999. We now own a windmill, gang. And I'm pretty sure if I jump to that, it like gets you stuck in it. So let me jump to this field really quick here, and then we'll just kind of run over there. I think it's this one right here, I think. Yep, that's the one. So this windmill straight in front of us here is the one we now own. We are going to make so much money off of this. So much money. Now, we have to put in $107,999 into the park today. Pretty much all the money we have. Now, we do have some pallets we're going to be selling today, so we'll take care of that as well. But, yeah, we have knocked off the largest objective for this series. Not even close. So this is going to start to move rapidly now that we have this. We should be making a boatload of money every single month just from this alone, not counting into fact any kind of pallets, excuse me, or greenhouse selling or anything like that. Silage, etc. Not including any of that. So this is going to be fantastic, man. All right, so that is done. So we know we have to put $107,999, $108,000. Let's just call it what it is. $108,000 into the park today, and we are going to be doing that. But first things first, we are going to start off with what we've been doing, really, I guess, over the last few episodes here, and that is starting off with selling some of these pallets here. Which we desperately need to do just to get ourselves a little bit more money, a little bit safer as far as the money goes, because we do still have a loan that we haven't paid off. Now, that loan is not really a huge benefit or a huge factor to us right now, but it is still, something that is going to be taken away from our total amount every month, right? So we're going to have those fees that we have to incur every month. So we need to make sure that we've got enough to be able to cover it. Now, really, as long as the greenhouses are going, we should have enough. And speaking of those greenhouses, one thing I should note, and I should have did it in the last episode, and I kind of forgot to do it. So I just did it off camera. I didn't really think it warranted loading it back up to explain it to you, but I did buy a tiny, tiny bit of liquid fertilizer for both the greenhouses. They were not going to continue to process if I didn't. So I did buy a little bit of liquid fertilizer just to keep them going while the grass was, being processed. Now, we do have some digestate in there that we need to move over so we can continue to make that liquid fertilizer, but I did go ahead and purchase liquid fertilizer outright. Not much, about $10,000 worth, maybe a little less, just to kind of, make sure that those greenhouses continued to produce. Stacking 3 up here is not working that well for us. Now, I don't know how many of these we're going to have. I suspect not many, because I think we got rid of most of that in the last episode. Actually, it says we still have 3,000 liters in storage, so I would expect 2 more to drop here. They haven't done so yet, but I would expect that to happen. What will probably happen, with my luck, is they are going to fall on top of that right when I'm in the process here trying to pick these up. That's just the way my luck's been going with these pallets here. Last episode, you saw how abysmal that was. It was embarrassingly abysmal, but, we made it through. There they go. There they go. See, I told you. I said as soon as I come over here and start to pick these up, those are going to drop on top. I knew it was going to happen. How's everyone doing today? I hope you're all doing well. Things are good here, man. I'm very, very excited about having that windmill now. This is a game changer for this series for sure. We don't have a ton left to do once we're done with all of this for sure. Now that we have that windmill, that is by far the most expensive purchase that we would have to make on this series. But we still have some other things we want to do, right? We haven't really purchased a harvester or anything yet. We want to do that. We also haven't, purchased the drill and the harvester for the rice field, which we got to do that as well. But now that we've got this nice income from that... Actually, I'm just going to take this one. Now that we have that nice income from the windmill, it shouldn't be a big problem for us anymore to be able to accomplish that, right? Now we probably also need to put an application of fertilizer rather down on the grass field today. I don't think anything else specifically. I don't think we have anything else specifically we need to do. Let's see. Yeah, everything looks like they're in pretty good shape here for the most part, except for obviously, you know, our grass field. But we're going to try to touch that up today. But yeah, everything's still in the growing stages, so there's not really anything specific for us to do. But we'll definitely put down that fertilizer on the grass field to take care of that, and then yeah, we'll see where we get to after that. And we're gonna put everything into the park, right? The park is gonna be it's gonna be an expensive one too, $100,000. What I'm thinking about doing is with that $100,000, probably, well, I guess it depends on which one I decide to do, but we're probably gonna utilize putting down the dairy or the whatever it is we decide to do with the milk. Ice cream parlor, etc. Right? No, don't fall. Please don't fall. Just gonna go slow. Just gonna go slow. Ease it in there, Z. Ease it in, buddy. There we go. All right. That was much better than last time. Last time, man, it was a disaster. Not saying that I did a fantastic job, but it was significantly better than the last episode, that's for sure. Now this is going to make us a lot of money right here. These pallets here, we're gonna get a ton of money out of this. This is going to put us in a better spot, a much more comfortable spot, I guess is how I should put it. A significantly more comfortable spot with how much money we have in the bank account. Perfect. 165 plus 14,611 for an environmental score, excuse me. So that's great. That is super helpful right there. Good, good, good. Now we probably need to drop a little TMR off for the cows. I'm sure they're still fine, but I didn't top them up in the last episode like I also said I was going to do, so we probably need to do that today too. But like I said, most of today's episode is really going to be around, well, buying the windmill, which is accomplished already, and then doing the work on the park. We haven't really done a whole lot in the park for a couple of episodes now, as a matter of fact. And that's just due to the fact that we've been doing other jobs that, you know, we really haven't had to buy anything specifically, right, to put into the park. So we're going to top off the cows here for a second, and then once we're done, we'll jump over to the park. We'll work on doing the fertilizer here later on, but we'll jump over to the park and see if we can kind of figure out what we're going to do with this $108,000 that we have to put into the park, right? Let's see if we can figure out, you know, where we're going to put everything, how we're going to set everything up. A lot of that money, as I mentioned, I think in the last episode, and even before that, I'm sure I have too, is going to probably be put into the fences. The fences are actually pretty expensive. They're not cheap by any means, so that's going to probably take up a good chunk. But I do think it makes a lot of sense for us to utilize this money for the dairy. I do think it makes a lot of sense to do that first and foremost over anything else, because there's not going to be many other things we purchase, probably nothing really, that's going to get us to that point. All right, so that is there. We'll just do a little turnaround here and then drop this back off where we kind of keep it, which is underneath the silo. And we'll jump to the park and take a look there. Okay, so this is the one I decided to go with, which is a bit of a change from what I had initially anticipated. I really like this one. I think it looks good. I think it looks better for what we're trying to do. Initially, I was going to do some kind of factory, but even the factory ones, I didn't really see a whole lot of ice cream. I think I was going to have to do 2 or 3 different things to get to the ice cream. Whereas this one allows us to get to the ice cream straight up. So this is the one we're going to utilize. I am going to customize it though. I'm going to do this little petrol. It says petrol, I guess. I don't really know if I would call that petrol, but I guess that's the color. I just like it. I think it looks good. And what I'm kind of planning to do here is put it somewhere in this vicinity. Now, the reason why I'm putting it here is because it's close to the little playground for the kids. The kids love ice cream, right? So they can come over here. We've got an open area here, which I think I'm going to modify the curb a little bit to have a little walkway in here. And then I'm going to kind of, I know this is kind of in the way, but so this little path from the main road here, I'm going to expand this out, and then this can be kind of like the entryway for semis, trucks, etc., whatever, to come over here. Now, we are going to have to probably modify a bit of our little walking path here in the park, but I kind of knew that was going to be a potential to happen. So what I think I'm going to do, as I said, I was going to put it here. It doesn't look good right now. It will after we kind of clean everything up, right? We're going to paint the ground a little bit, make it look better. It's going to look better, but right now it doesn't. And more than likely, I'm going to have to put a bit of a fence up this way because obviously we don't want the kids running over here if we can help it. Modify this area a little bit more now that we kind of have an idea of where we're at here, right? Now, this is only $30,000, so it's not that much. We're going to have to put a lot more into it, but I'm talking about modifying fences and everything else, right? So it's going to change, right, for sure. The other thing I had thought about doing potentially is taking the walking path completely away from going down here and maybe just have it come this way up to here, maybe? I don't know. That's still something I'm kind of thinking through here, but I do think this is the way to go, is to put this down here. Doesn't take up as much space as I had thought either, so yeah, I think we're going to put it here. I think it's a good spot to put it here, and then we're going to modify that curb a bit to have a little bit of a walking, well, a lowered curb so we can walk up into it easily. What's it overlapping? What am I missing here? Is there like grass on the ground or something? I don't know. I'm just going to turn on and hope that it doesn't go into the ground too much here. So I think something like this. Okay, there it is. We need to jump to the park there. I was just doing this from far away. Okay, so here we are. So this is the back side. This is where you're going to drop everything off, and this is where the pallets are going to spawn. So it keeps that out of the way. And yeah, I think this looks great. I think this looks fantastic. You can actually go inside it, which is even better. You've got your cheeses and stuff there. Here's your ice cream or gelato or whatever, which I think is absolutely fantastic. And then, yeah, we'll modify this area a little bit just to make it look a little bit better. But I'm thinking, even though it's going to shrink the walking path a bit, I think I am going to kind of cut the walking path here and bring it out to here. I do think that makes a lot more sense. Okay, so we spent $30,000, so we got to spend a little bit more here. Is it? It's at the very bottom of fences, I think, isn't it? I think so. Okay, so it's going to demolish the whole thing, isn't it? Well, I'm going to have to redo it anyway, so that's fine. We're going to demolish this too. Okay, so let's try to do this again here. So we want to grab this section here. I want to keep it as close as I can to what it was before, I guess. Okay, that's good enough. It's not perfect, and I'm not really expecting it to be perfect, if I'm honest with you. But it's good enough. It's sufficient. We're gonna have to put some bollards here to try to prevent anything from happening. But yeah, it's good enough. All right, so that's that. So now we need to take the pathway and come this way with it. Okay, I don't remember what we were utilizing here. Was it this? No, it's not that. So it must have been this then. It was this. Okay. All right. So let's see here. This is going to look great, gang, when it's done. Maybe right now it doesn't. I don't know. But when we're done, I'm telling you, this is going to be perfect. This is going to be exactly kind of how I envisioned it. Well, the best I can do as far as envisioning it goes, given, what we have to work with. Okay, it won't let me paint that for some reason. That's a bit unfortunate there. It could be worse, though. I think I can... Well, I don't know if I can work with that or not. It's going to probably drive me crazy. I have free mode on, but it's still not letting me paint it. It did there for some reason. I don't know why it won't let me do it anywhere else, though. There's something right here that's causing issues, and it's not letting me paint it. Well, I'll see if I can figure out something else to do there, maybe to fix it. I don't know if I'll be able to or not, but I'm going to see if I can. All right, so let's just paint all of this in here. Trying to be very careful here and methodical and precise about this. You know what? I'm actually going to expand this a little bit more. Yeah, I think that's going to be good. Now, what am I going to do with this? Well, here's what I'm thinking. So, if I do grass kind of running here, and then I take a fence and basically try to line it up with the edge here of the building and run that fence all the way down here, and obviously remove this, then you've got this whole area back here for, distributing and deliveries, etc. And that keeps away any kind of kids aren't going to run over here behind, obviously, and potentially, get hurt, right? And then probably the same thing over here, too, honestly. I might put a bit of a little area here to sit, but then most of this can be blocked off a little bit as well with a fence, right? I think that makes sense. I think that makes the most sense. So let's start with that, and let's just see how it looks. Now, I think what I would like to do is utilize this same fence over here. I really like this fence, this old school looking fence, and I had a minute trying to find it last time. I couldn't really find the one I was looking for, so let's see if I can make sure I get the right one. That's the style, but it's not the right... Did I miss it? No, that's it. This is it. This is it. That's it. Okay. Now, you might say, well, a kid could just run through that. You're right, they could, but you would hope, that they don't, right? You would hope. You would hope they know, listen to their parents or whatever, right? At some point, you got to have, the parents got to take a little bit of responsibility for paying attention to their kids. All right, so that cost a bit, but that does exactly what I was hoping for, honestly. That's exactly what I was wanting it to do. It blocks off this whole area. All right, so we need to put down a little grass here, so let's do that. Obviously, we're going to put down some meadow grass too, but you get the point here, right? You get what I'm trying to do. I'm not sure what I'm going to have to utilize here for a thumbnail. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not really sure what to use here. I don't know if I should utilize this massive park upgrade we're doing, or if I should use the thumbnail of the windmill, right? I don't know what to do. A lot of choices, I guess. Okay, so let's see. What am I going to do with all this area over here now? Okay, so I think let's take a bit of a change here. Let's get this all set up, and that's going to give me more of an idea of what I'm doing here. So we want to have this be a relatively big opening here. don't think I need to go... I think I need to make this grass. I think that's a little bit too close. Yeah, I think that's good. I just need to make sure I give myself enough room that I can come in here and turn, right? These trees are going to be in the way here a bit, but that's all right. We're actually not spending as much money as I thought here on this. We still got a lot of money we need to spend. Okay, so I think the more I see this, I think I'm going to make this actually more for area for us to turn around and things like that, because we're probably going to need to. And I think if I just bring this out kind of close to the tree here, I think that's enough room, right? And so then this from here over to here, maybe down to here, could be all a little sitting area, right? I mean, I'm asking myself to do some pretty sharp turns here, but again, I think it's going to be okay. I'm trying the best I can here to not have these trees interfere. If you get too close to the trees and the camera goes a little wonky, and then you're painting areas you don't want to paint. All right, we're just going to fill that in. You know, I was kind of skeptical to fill that in, but I think I'm just going to fill it in. I think that's enough room, right? I hope it is. I think it is. I think it's plenty. All right, there's that. So that's all nice and done. Now, do I really need this area up in here? Probably not. I mean, I'm just going to paint it in, I think. I'm just going to keep it going like this. And then if that way I can make a big turn if I need to. Maybe I never use it, or maybe I never use the area in behind, but let's just make it look, you know, respectable, I guess is how I'll put it. That'll work. That'll work. And then this area can be our little sitting area that I was talking about. So I don't know what I want to put for that. I think I need to kind of look at this a little bit more. I kind of want to do a different texture than this. But I'm not really sure what texture I want to use. None of these I really like, if I'm honest with you. I don't like that at all. I hate that. As a matter of fact, I hate it. I don't love that, but I think that might be the best thing that I'm seeing. But it doesn't really fit very well with this, I don't think. Maybe I just go like this dark approach here. Let me look at that and see how I feel about that. I'm not sure if I like that or not. You know what? I'm going to go with it. Maybe I'll change my mind as we move along later on, but I'm going to go with it. It's not terrible. It's not terrible. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do, actually, now that I think about it, I think I'm going to put more fence here. Try to get that same fence again. I really like that fence, and just kind of keep it unified here going as we move along, right? I've got a bit of a stick drift here on my controller. I apologize, gang. That's why it keeps moving on me. Yeah, I like that. The more I see it, I like that. I like that. That's plenty of room, I think, for us to put down some tables, some benches, etc. You're definitely going to want to have that if you're a business, right? You're going to want that to be there. Ooh, you know what? I think I'm actually going to make some grass here. I like that idea of putting grass here, I think. Between the fence itself and where people are going to be sitting at. And then I can put some meadow grass on top of it, right? Yeah. Yeah. I like that. That looks good. Okay. Yeah, I'll buy that. I'll buy that a lot. Very, very happy with that. All right, we still have so much more money to spend, and we've been doing this for a while. We got so much money to spend. Okay. All right. So what can we do here? Let's see what we can find here. So these. I mean that could probably work. It's cheap, but I mean we could put those up here against the. Okay. I think having one of these probably makes a little bit of sense. I think we put it over here, kind of off in the back area. Let's see. We definitely want to put some trash cans out, I think. Kind of here at the exits, right? What else? What else can we put in here? What else do we want to put in here? That's the better question, right? Do we care? No, I think that should probably go in the actual main park area. I don't think we really need that there. Do we put a telephone booth over here? No, I don't think so. The gazebo thing I definitely like, but I think that's going to come out in the main area somewhere. Now this, I think, makes the most sense, honestly, if I have a couple of these umbrella type of things kind of scattered around. That way it still keeps the shade off, but it, also, I mean, keeps the shade off. Keeps the sun, it provides some shade to keep the sun off if you want to, but you also have the option to not do that. Before I continue to add those, let's just make sure there's nothing else we find that looks better. I don't know if there will be. I don't think there will be, but... I mean, a couple of these probably make sense, yeah? Like a little picnic area, right? These look too cheap for me. I'm not going to go with those. Yeah, I'm really liking this. The more I see this, this is exactly what I was hoping to make it look like. Obviously, it wasn't the most perfect thing in the world, but I was hoping for it. I think I'm going to actually put these over here because we really don't want anybody specifically coming over here. When I say nobody, I mean, you know, people. We want it to know that this is kind of a working area, not just bollards to keep cars out. It's technically a working area. So I'll put that there. And I'm not sure we're going to find anything else. No. Okay, so, you know, I actually think I'm going to leave that as it is. I think that's probably enough. You know, if we want to add more later, we can do it. But I think for right now, that's enough. We've got to spend some more money here, gang. We've got to spend a lot more money. We are nowhere near where we need to be at for today. And all we've been doing is this, which is fine. I'm sure maybe not everyone's loving it, but this is literally all we've done so far. So we want to do this, and we want these for sure. Now, I know those are technically closer than these are, but I want these to be like this on purpose because you're going to have an area where a lot more little kids are, right? So this is kind of by design here. Okay, yeah, that's good. All right, so now we need to add more fence work over here because we kind of removed the fence work from the play area. Don't necessarily need, probably don't really need it, but I kind of want to put something to kind of break the play area apart from the walking path here a bit. Doesn't really make that big of a difference. It's more just for me than anything, I think. I think the curbs probably still make the most sense here. So we're just going to add the curb back that we had, so I really didn't need to remove that, but I did anyway. No, it doesn't like something there. It's not allowing it to... Well, that's fine. We can run it down this way. That's fine. I mean, I can make it work. Do I have to expand it? Oh my gosh, that camera work. Do I have to expand this a little bit? Maybe. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I think that's fine. We'll go with that. All right. Perfect. So that's there. What do we got? We need to spend a lot more money. A lot more money. Okay. Well, I think what we're going to do, since we've spent a heck of a lot of time on this, is let's do something that's actually going to be expensive, and it's going to run the figures up pretty quickly here. So let's add this down. First, and then we'll run the numbers up, like I said, because this isn't going to cost a whole lot, and actually it's not even really costing us anything, which is weird. Normally this costs some money. Not anything crazy, but it normally costs some money. Yeah, I'm going to have a hard time, I think, not showing off our park updates here in the thumbnail, but maybe I do a bit of a side-by-side, two different thumbnails, maybe. I don't know. I did that back in the day, but haven't really done that in a while, but maybe I should. Maybe I should. Anyway, okay, that's there. All right, so let's work on the fence work now. That's what's really going to get us up there. As I mentioned, that's really, really, really going to get us up there, which is what we really need right now. All right, so let's make sure we get the right one here again. I think we do. We do. So we'll grab this guy, and we're going to get on rolling all the way down, man. This is what I'm saying. This is going to give us a ton. It's going to spend a ton of money right here. An absolute fortune. Okay, now the difficult here is going to be how straight was I with my path work. Probably not very. But if we just shrink this down a little bit, it's going to be easier for us to make sure we're keeping this going straight, right? Okay. Yeah, that's good. That's kind of what I was hoping for, right? We kind of separated this crop field away from the park that we're working on. Yeah, I'm good at that. I'm happy with that. All right, so we've got some more work that we still need to do here. A lot more work, as a matter of fact. So let's do a little more painting here. I think the park's going to be almost done when we're done with all this, gang. We've got so much money still we need to spend. But it's really starting to come together, right? The park. How did I do that? How did I do that? I just did it again. How did I do that? How did I go that far out? All right, we got to do a little bit of touch-up work here and there, but that's okay. Mostly, we got this all under control here, gang. Okay. All right. That has changed this whole landscape vastly now. Look at this. Look at how crazy this looks now. I love it. All right. So, this is not going to cost a whole lot of money. This is going to be very, very cheap. Is it decoration? I think it's under decoration. I think it's all the way at the bottom of decoration. Okay, which one of these goals do we want? Do we want this one, or do we want this one? I think this one. Now, how are we going to set these up? I think maybe what we do is we make a smaller one down here for like the little kids, right? Little kids can be down here at the back. That makes the most sense. That's a safer spot for them to be anyway, right? You know what would be nice to have is if we could get like a baseball diamond. Yeah, that's good. Okay. And then we'll do some larger size, and I say larger size, I'm just talking about the distance between the goals. And I'm gonna get very nitpicky here of myself to make sure that this is as good as I can make it. Are they going to be perfect? No, they're not. It's going to drive me crazy a little bit, but as long as it's close, I guess I'll be okay with it. I wish there was some more, abilities in this game where you could, lock things on and be like, okay, I want to take it from here, and I want it to go straight out, but I want it to be locked on and attached to the middle of that, right? We don't have that luxury like you would get, I don't know, say in City Skylines or something like that, right? You would get that kind of a luxury where you could say, or even Planet Coaster, things like that. I want to lock this in place with this one. This is on a bit of a hill, more so than I thought it was, isn't it? Whoops, I guess that's not really going to work. Well, we'll leave it for right now. I guess that's not going to work exactly how I had hoped there, but that's all right. Okay, so let's do a second basketball court, and I think I'm going to put it right behind it. So let's see if we can get the right stuff here, because we need to spend some money here. It's not... It's a little bit of a bigger one. Doesn't look as good as that does, though, so I'm not going to utilize that. Nope, that ain't going to work for me. More maybe for the tennis courts, possibly. Where is this fence at that I was using? Is it this one? It's this one. Okay. So we're just going to kind of lock on to this one, like we just did there, and try to do the similar situation here. Now, the problem here is this is also not going to be perfect unless I sat here and counted them. I guess I could do that. Excuse me, I guess I could do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 plus a little more, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, I did a terrible job on that. Let's try this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, we're going to call that right. And then let's do this. It still doesn't look that straight to me. Maybe it is, but it doesn't look that straight. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. So we just got to put a little bit of an entrance in here. I think I'm going to put it on... So the entrance here we have is kind of right over here by the parking lot, but I think I'm going to put this one on this side, I think, which means I have to remove what I just did, but... Where's my pole in the corner there? What happened to my pole in the corner? Okay, well, I can't really fix that now. I guess I can come back and try to fix it later, but I can't really fix that now. Okay, so what do we use here? We used this, I think. Nope. This. That's what we used. Okay, got it. We're edging ever so closer here, gang. We've got to spend a lot more money still, though. We're not even close. Okay, so there's that. So let's get the basketball hoops. Decorations. And then I think I'm going to put some, like, bleachers or benches or whatever over here, because, you know, that's what's going to happen. You're going to have people sitting out waiting to play the next game or whatever. So I think that makes a lot of sense. I haven't found any tennis court type of things yet. I guess I could just make a tennis court that doesn't have any kind of a, a net or anything, but really I think you'd want to try to find one that actually looks like a tennis court versus not. Okay, can we please? Thank you. All right, second basketball court is done, and I'm pretty happy with that. Still need to spend like 30-ish grand. Really, this is the reason why it wasn't 30 grand, because I spent way less on that than I had anticipated spending. Or the reason why we're not at 100,000, I guess is what I should say. You know what? Let's put some lights up here. You would have some lights on a basketball court for sure. So let's put some lights up here on the corner. Maybe I can kind of put it like that, so that'll kind of get it'll get rid of the whole, where's the missing corner pole at? Yeah, I like this idea a lot. Whoa, why are we going up in the air? What was happening there? We're doing it again. And then we can just kind of put a couple here right in the middle. Perfect. I think that looks really good now. Like, I mean, it would be great if I could put down some actual things on the ground, but I mean, I don't think it really necessary, right? It's not necessary. Okay, is it under? I think it's under decorations. I thought I had some kind of a bleacher set up, but I might not. I might just have to use benches, which, that's fine. It'll do the trick. But I thought I had like a bleacher-like thing that I had downloaded. Maybe I didn't. I guess I didn't. Well, I kind of like these, so we're going to go with these. Now, do I need this many benches? I don't know, probably not. We're going to put them in. Now, I would suspect, since I have the opening over here, not many people would probably sit on the benches on this side. For this court, at least. Because you have to walk all the way around. But we'll put them down anyway. And then I want to paint the ground a little bit here. I'm thinking it needs to be something dark. It almost needs to be like mud or dirt. Because these are going to get real dirty with people sitting there. I mean, the grass is just going to kind of go away, right? So if we just kind of scatter it about a little bit, I think that's going to make a lot of sense, I think. Okay, still got a long way to go here. So I think the next thing we're going to focus on is what I talked about, right? We're going to put kind of a windmill in here, and that's going to be kind of the focal point or the theme, I guess, of the park, right? Is have an old windmill, like a farm windmill. Now, I think that was under others. Yeah, here we go. So here's our little entryway here, right? So my vision was to kind of put it here and then have like a walking area or walking path around it. I kind of want to make this like exactly in the middle of that, though. It's going to probably drive me crazy if it's not. It's going to be hard to do, though, with, like I said, a controller. It continues to move around on me. Okay, we're going to go with that. Now, it's going to turn, obviously, because it's going to go by wherever the wind's going, which is kind of the point, right? That's kind of what I want it to do. So I think I'm going to continue with this theme here, I think. I'll have to touch that up a little bit. That's okay. If I can add some flowers and stuff around it, I think that would look good too. Just gives a little bit more, you know, a little more depth to what we're trying to accomplish here, right? Makes it look a little bit better. Okay, so let's do a little bit of touch-up work here. Oop, too much there. Whoops. Stop moving, controller. I'm gonna have to get a new controller here, gang. I'm big time controller drift here. Yeah, I think it's going to be really difficult for me not to show this. I mean, what we've accomplished here, what we're making here, is just, I love it. I absolutely love it. I think it looks fantastic. Okay, so let's see. Can we do... Did we get any flowers of any sort? Really, I would love to see some flowers to put into here, but I don't know if we actually have anything. I might have to go on and find something to download for that. Part of me kind of likes the idea of putting this in here too, as it, like, you know, this is where it used to be. It used to be called Sunset Farm. Now it's, you know, a park, Sunset Park, if you will, right? Tell you what, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to get the fence back out. I'm going to put the fence around this. I think that's going to look good too. And then we'll see where we're at money-wise. But I'm kind of leaning towards doing what I was just showing you. I think that's going to look good. Have some like relics of the farm kind of scattered around here. If that makes sense. This is looking really, really good, man. I'm really, really happy with this. Very, very happy with it. Oh, man, I love that. I love the way that looks. That looks great. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right, so we still have another 15,000 or so we need to spend. This is crazy how much money we still need to spend here, but, you know, that's fine, whatever. Let's scroll down here. Let's do a little bit of what I was just talking about. Now that we know we have that much money to spend, let's do it. So if I add this like here, and this can just be kind of like a little bit of a walking path talking about the farm and everything that was here before. Right? This is going to be, and this is awesome. I don't know if I like that there. I'm not going to put that there. I don't know if I like that. All right, I gotta go look at this from a angle here to see if this is actually accomplishing what I want. I think it is, but you know, that is perfect. Look at that. That's exactly what I was hoping to see. Now I might put a fence around this. I don't know, but I kind of want to put flowers and stuff around here, right? We haven't really accomplished that, but I kind of want to do that, I think. Now, we got all this open, empty space here, and you might be saying, well, what are you going to do with all this empty space? You're right, there is a lot of empty space. There's a couple other things I want to do. Specifically, I want to put in, I think we might just go ahead and do it since we still have some money to spend here. I want to put that gazebo in I was talking about. Where was that at? Now I'm blanking on where it was. I think that makes sense to put over here. So we'll put that in. You know, just small little touches like that. I mean, it goes a long way, right? It just adds more to it. Okay, let's keep on here. Where's that gazebo at? Small little windmill. I think I'm going to put that over here. I talked about putting like a small windmill over by the kids area, so I think I'm going to put it over here. There we go. Where is that gazebo at? I literally was right next to it. So I think, you know, putting like a bit of a gazebo somewhere over like in this vicinity, kind of on or around the walking path. I think that makes some sense too. Like somewhere over here near the kids area, I think it makes sense, man. An area for the adults to stop, and then they can still watch the kids from a distance if they want to. So we'll put that there. Was not expensive. We're struggling here at this point, gang. It might be a situation where I say, you know, as much as I want to get all of this done, we're probably not going to, so we're going to have to kind of carry it over to the next one. I think that's pretty much all we can really do for right now. I don't see anything else unless I go out to Mod Hub and keep on looking. And maybe I find something else, but I'm not really seeing a whole lot of anything else here, gang. So, how are we going to finish it off? Well, we got a lot of cars we still need to buy, so let's start putting down some more cars in the parking spots here. That's how we're going to get ourselves to the amount of money we need to spend. I kind of like the idea, even though this is just going to be kind of for show, I kind of like the idea of having this over here on the edge. So we're going to put that there. Alright, what else we got? We can put one of these guys down. I mean, really, we're going to need a lot of parking, a lot of cars in here, I think, to really make it look, you know, sufficient, if you will. I think 2 school buses next to each other makes some sense right here, so we're going to do that. You know, like they're on a school field trip to the park or whatever. Or maybe they're coming here to, you know, go through the dairy or whatever, right? Maybe they're doing that. Who knows? Now, this could probably go into there, but I'm going to put it in here anyway. All right, we need a little bit more money to spend here, so let's just keep putting some more cars in, and that, I mean, will really do the trick for us once we get that done. I'm just trying to rotate and get, you know, all the different types of cars in here if I can. You would think most of them are probably going to be taking up these closer spots, right? So we'll spend a little bit more on these close spots here on each of these sides, because that's more than likely if you were somewhere, that's probably what you would see, is all these close spots would be taken first. All right. I don't know if we actually got to the exact amount we needed to get to, but we're pretty close, gang. So let's we spent a ton of time doing that. I think instead of trying to find other major things to do, I think we just need to do the fertilizer spreading, and then we're just gonna call it at that point. I mean, I spent 50-something minutes just doing that park. That was an insane amount of time to do that park. I didn't even realize we were talking for that long. Hell, you probably all turned off by now. Probably wasn't that exciting, but man, we really ramped that up. We ramped that up big time. All right, gang, well, that's all done, and we are going to leave the episode at this point. Very long episode of updating the park, but the park, I do believe, looks absolutely fantastic. I really don't think there's a whole lot else that we really need to bring to the park, honestly. There's going to be a few other things we're certainly going to do, but I think most of the park has now been accomplished. A couple other minor touch-up things we will do as we move along. I'm sure we'll add a few things here and there as we progress, but overall the park is pretty much at a state now where I consider it to be done. So we've got to add some grass into here, maybe something else right in this vicinity, potentially a tennis court like I talked about, or maybe a tennis court over here, who knows. But either way, we've got a few other things to do, but for the most part, it is done. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. And yeah, we're making good progress, man. We've got pay off the loan, and that's really the last major objective that we have to accomplish, with the exception of starting to move all of the milk over here so we can actually start making ice cream, right? But all of that can come later on. It does not necessarily need to be today or in the near future. Thanks for watching. Thanks so much for your continued support. Thank you to my members. Cannot thank you guys enough. Hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't done so already. I'll see you next time.